right, guys, welcome back to Crunch Time, the show where you get the best NBA DFS picks each and every day. Today on this Sunday, we have an 8-game slate here, joined as always with Chrissair DFS. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Excited for the slate here. We have a pretty big one on a Sunday, which is pretty rare, so definitely excited here.
Yeah, you weren't too excited yesterday, were you? You corrected yourself. You were, but then you weren't because of the spreads, I think, right?
Yeah, but it was okay.
Yeah. What is this? Rondo saying 2 zoomed in. What's 2 zoomed in? What's he
I'm not
talking
sure.
about? I don't know. Everything looks fine to me. Maybe it looks good to me. I don't know what he's talking about. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's see what we got in the chat. We got Brent here. Got Justin in here. Rondo in here. What's up, guys? Let's load up the success from yesterday. First up, Dakota. I think we didn't get to go through this one over the show. Posted a bit after we started. This was MLB, I think yesterday, so early slate here. 150 to 300. He's been killing it lately, Dakota. Also some NHL, 40 to 80 from him. And then these are some other ones here. NBA. This main slate, Chris?
Yep.
Yeah, main slate NBA, NHL. Baseball, lots of stuff out of him. He's been doing crazy. You said it here on a heater. It seems like he's posting every day there, so crazy stuff. Got Ace over here, nearly a takedown. Where is he? 6th place, 394.8. Yeah, that's awesome. Love to see it. Would love to see the Crunch logo there, but still, love to see it. Dakota as well with his props. Prop betting, right, Chris?
Yep.
Yeah. This is DK. We can't do this in Canada, right? On DK?
No, you can't access the sportsbook in Canada.
Yeah, kind of rough. But yeah, awesome stuff there. Looks like a lot of fun. Sportsbook on DK. Got T-Bay over here, $5 into $9. That's, what is that? That's like a few, well, that's American, so it's like a few coffees, a few parking spots, maybe some David Lamb parking. That's awesome, though. He's been definitely getting a lot better at DFS. I said that last time, but yeah. Shout out to Thomas. I got rookie over here, 57.99. Solid stuff here as well. Nick over here, MLB action, killing it. Aiden here, every sport, every slate. Did he just post this? Yeah, he just posted this one, so he was waiting for the show to start. NHL, baseball all day, after hours NBA, single game slate on FanDuel, baseball, soccer, DraftKings, NHL, main slate, baseball, NHL late slate, NBA single slate, NBA single slate, and then soccer single slate. So lots of stuff out of Aiden. Yeah, then we got your posts here, Chris. Let's go over that. So, wait, did you end up posting? Where's yours?
No, I didn't post anything.
Why not?
I don't like to post when it's just a few bucks. Like, yeah, I just don't do that.
Got it. Oh, so you're saying you kind of like broke even here a bit more?
Yeah, so I mean, this contest obviously won, but some of them lost. I was like 3 points away from the 3 points above it, the cash line here in this contest. So it was pretty tight. Didn't play Westbrook. I think there was like a 2v2 that was important. It was like Dame and Curry versus Westbrook and someone else. Can't remember right now, but the other team did better. Dame, he did fine, but didn't do too great, I don't think. Missed on a few players that did very well, like Gary Trent Jr. I think he went for 60 or 70. So that was insane. He was like 25% owned. I didn't have him.
I have a tweet with him. He's like quoted saying, first time in 3 years, he feels like he's wanted in the Raptors organization.
Yeah, they definitely stole him away. So it's a really good pickup there, I think. But yeah, I didn't have him here. So, I mean, if 25% of the field has him, I don't have him. That means 25% of the field is pretty much automatically ahead of me because he went for such a crazy score at his price tag. But yeah, like we always say, low-owned guys, they're the ones that matter. So I had Dame and Korkmaz here. Dame went for 48. Korkmaz went for 41. So yeah, I'm pretty surprised I absolutely crush with having Korkmaz this low owned, and him going like 12x, 13x here. So yeah, partly to do with guys like Trent, Cantor as well went for 70. So just a lot of big scores. Some guys I kind of missed on here, like OG and Boucher. They were pretty high owned, so it didn't matter too much, but it definitely didn't help them playing this poorly. So yeah, that was kind of DK there.
Did they play poorly, or was it just like the blowout? I didn't get a chance to watch that game.
Well, I mean, they won by 20, 2 snowflakes, so they definitely played poorly.
Okay.
I mean, Trent did everything for them, so I mean, you can't have everyone score like 50, 40 points like Trent did.
Yeah. Do you want to open up anyone else or FanDuel?
No, we could just go to FanDuel.
Okay. Here's FanDuel. So you're right at the cash line, 50th, but I mean, probably split a few ways. What happened on FanDuel?
Yeah, so this one was a little worse. There's a team in 29th. We can look at that team. That was what I swapped off of. Yeah, so we even have rookie there. Yeah, you clicked it. So, yeah, so I made this swap from Curry, Ingles, and Sadiq Bey to Dame, CJ, and Thibault. Ended up losing by 7 points in this swap, almost 8 points. So, yeah, Thibault had I think he had this score in the first half. Then that game blew out, so he didn't play too much. CJ and Dame, they played most of the game, so can't really fault that to a blowout. Didn't want to play them too much, but I thought Thibault was in a really good spot, so I wanted to get to him. And then the other side had Curry, who went absolutely crazy. Seemed like he was hitting every shot he took, so that didn't really help me too much here on FanDuel. And then Ingles, no Clarkson, so he always seems to do well, went for 33. And Sadiq Bey did sort of what he was projected to do there. So I ended up losing the 3v3 here. But yeah, didn't have a great team. Like Cantor, he was like 30% owned. So Boucher was 60%, Cantor was like 30%. So people were just deciding between those two for the most part. Cantor went for 68 here on FanDuel. So kind of like Trent on DraftKings, I was behind 30% of the lineups because Cantor did so well. And yeah, I did worse here on FanDuel than on DraftKings, but it was still pretty close. Like I had some pretty poor performances, like Simmons here, 61%, going for 21 points. I think he had like 10 in the first quarter, so didn't do too much after that. And like I said, Thibault had him at 10%, had that score at the half as well. So yeah, not great here on FanDuel.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna say Ben Simmons, Chris, another poor performance, blowout here. That's the reason, right?
Yeah, I don't know. He's gonna be like 6'5" soon, 6K probably.
Yeah, he's been a bum, fantasy wise at least. So, yeah, I've been documenting the demise of Ben Simmons all season long here. But yeah, about Boucher as well. I feel like he's one of those guys you want to get when he kind of trends downwards for a while. I mean, I don't know if cash wise, he's probably situation was good for him, but just in tournaments, he just seems like a guy you can always find when he trends downwards. Maybe minutes aren't there for a few games, or Nurse just minutes, and then price goes down, low ownership, and then you get him, and then he goes for like a 40, 50 fantasy point game. So that's interesting with Boucher. But yeah, let's open up the slate here. Let's see what we got in the chat. T-Base says Luka is about to have a special night again. Do you see it, Chris?
Yeah, I see it for sure.
Yep. Rondo says Bobby Portis got some crazy eyes. Looks like he's going to punch another teammate in the face. That was Mirotic, right?
Yeah, Nico.
Yeah. Poor Nico. He was out for a while after that, wasn't he? With the face?
Yeah.
That's rough. T-Bay says Curry was on one last night. I mean, T-Bay did call that yesterday. Wardell.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully the same thing with Luka today.
You think Luka's going to be on one today?
Yeah, I mean, he said it, so hopefully.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so this slate, Chris, we got 16 teams playing, 8 games total. You said you're excited about this slate. What do you like about it? What's your favorite news to target fantasy-wise here so far?
I don't know. We don't have like great games here. We have no Giannis today, so Bucks are kind of interesting. No Kawhi, so some interest in the Clippers again. Um, but yeah, I think there's also some questionable guys that we're waiting on. So hopefully we got that within the hour. Um, but yeah, we have some tight spreads here, so I'm interested in this slate.
Yep. Okay. Wait, these games start at 3 p.m. Pacific time?
No,
Oh. Is it the wrong time we have here? Is it 4?
let's see. What does it say?
Oh, no, never mind. My bad. That is 4. My bad. Um, I have a different time zone on a different side I'm at for my news, so that's my bad. Let's get into the first game, Chris. Pelicans against the Cavs. Cavs played yesterday against my Raptors, so back-to-back for them. Let's go over Pelicans first, though. So over there, we just have Lonzo Ball out for them. Projected starters: Bledsoe. Was his name Marshall? What's his first name, Chris? Najee
Najee.
Marshall. Brandon Ingram, Zion, and Steven Adams. Any interest here, Chris? Pelicans against the Cavs?
So we saw kind of point Zion last game with Lonzo out. He went for 37 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists. So he was kind of facilitating the offense there. I'm expecting the same thing today. No Lonzo again. I think they want to see what he can do when he's handling the ball and initiating the offense. So I think they're going to do that again. So he's the guy I'm interested in. Don't want to play Ingram. Just hasn't looked as good recently. Zion's the guy that I really like here. I think he's 9.7 on FanDuel, 9.4 on DK. So the DraftKings price is definitely better for him. I'm not going to go out of my way to lock him in, but I do think he's a really good tournament option here because of the upside he has, cash games as well, like the safety that he has with his production. So definitely don't mind Zion here. If you're looking for a spend up, maybe if you don't want to play Luca or something like that, you can play Zion. You can spend up for him instead. So he's the only guy that really interests me from the Pelicans. They have a high implied team total here at 117. So there should be some good production from some of these guys. But the one I feel safest with is going to be Zion.
Got it. Let's go over the Cavs. So over there, Garland questionable, Cabangel questionable, Colin Sexton questionable, Jarrett Allen still out with the head. I think he should be back sometime next week, Wednesday or something. Nance out, Windler out, and then Kevin Love probable. Projected starters: Garland, Sexton, Coro, Wade, and Kevin Love. Anybody on the Cavs side, Chris?
Yeah, so this news with Sexton and Garland is going to be pretty important. I think they're both questionable right now, so we'll have to wait on that. I have no idea if they're going to play or not. It's the back end of the back-to-back. I think Garland actually got hurt yesterday in the game. I think he came out early, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're going to play. The one guy I'm interested in right now is Isaiah Hartenstein on both sites, really. He's 5.6 on FanDuel, 5.2 on DK, so a really good price tag for him. We saw him yesterday go for 50 off the bench once again, playing around 25 minutes per game, just doing everything for them, assisting the ball, rebounding the ball, scoring the ball, getting a few stocks every game. So I really like the price tag for him, even though he's not like getting huge minutes. He's just a really good point per minute guy, so that's why I like him.
Okay. No one else on the Cavs, though? Just got to watch out for that news before making up our mind.
Yeah.
Got it. Let's go to the next one. We got the Bucks here against the Magic. Milwaukee side, PJ Tucker out. Middleton, Holiday, Merrill, DiVincenzo, Lopez, all probable tags. And then Giannis is doubtful. Projected starters: Drew Holiday, DiVincenzo, Middleton, Bobby Portis, cover boy today, and then Brooke Lopez. Portis 6'3", over on DK, on FanDuel 5'8". Chris, why is he the cover boy today?
Because Giannis is doubtful. So, I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Portis always crushes when Giannis is out. So I think you got to play Portis here. He's just way too cheap on both sites. Like you said, 6.3 on DK, 5.8 on FanDuel. For his role, just way too cheap. So you got to lock him in. I think And then my next favorite guy, due to pricing, is going to be Chris Middleton. On DraftKings, I think he's $200 cheaper than Holiday. FanDuel, he's $900 cheaper. So he's the guy I'm prioritizing there out of the spend ups. So I like Middleton a lot here. We've seen his usage be very high with Giannis out of the lineup. Last game he shot 6 for 27. So he didn't make many shots, but he shot 27 times. So that's pretty crazy. So I like Middleton a lot here in this spot. Drew as well, just a little hard to get to him, especially if you're spending up for Luka today on this slate. There's some other guys I prefer as well, like on DK. I'd rather get to Paul George than Drew Holiday with no Kawhi. So I like that more than Drew. So not really on him in cash games. Not a great matchup against Orlando. They're still implied to score 117 here. So they're still going to get points up, but I'm just going to prioritize Middleton here. And then Dante DiVincenzo, he's another really good play, I think, especially on FanDuel where he's 5.8K. We've seen him as well in games without Giannis put up big scores, so I like him a lot here. That's probably it. It's probably those four guys mainly.
Okay, let's go over Orlando. We got Chuma Okeke, questionable. Kareem Main, questionable. Mo Bamba, questionable. Otto Porter is out, and then Robert Franks, 10-day contract for Orlando. Projected starters: Michael Carter-Williams, Dwayne Bacon, James Ennis, Chuma Okeke, and Wendell Carter Jr. Any interest on this side of the game?
Yeah, just I like one guy here and one guy only. He has a questionable tag. Mo Bamba, he's 5K, I think, on FanDuel, 4.5 on DK. Obviously, they got rid of Kem Birch, so that kind of opened up his minutes. Last two games without Birch, he's gotten 24 and then 22 minutes. And then I think last game where he played 22 minutes, he actually got hurt. So he would have played more if he didn't get hurt. I think he came back into that game, but he got hurt pretty early in the first half. So I don't think he played again after that. But yeah, he's been putting up just giant scores, really good point per minute, getting blocks, rebounding well, scoring well. So I like Mo Bamba here on this slate if he does end up playing. This is the first game of the slate, so we are going to know before lock. So if he ends up playing, Mo Bamba is the guy for me. If he's out, I think Wendell Carter Jr. will become a great play, just because he won't really have anyone backing him up with no Kem Birch there anymore, like I said. And then obviously Bamba would be out. So if he's out, I think Wendell Carter Jr. will be very interesting.
Is this a buy low moment for Bamba, Chris?
Oh, no, it's definitely buy high.
Oh, for Bamba, yeah? Both sites?
Yeah.
Got it. Let's go into the next one. We have Indiana against Memphis. One sec. So Indiana side, Miles Turner out for them. Projected starters: Brogdon, Sumner, LeVert, Holiday, Justin Holiday, and Sabonis. So Brogdon, Sabonis back, played last game. Any interest here, Chris, with those guys back, or not so much anymore?
Not too much interest. This is the highest over-under game on the slate. So, I mean, I guess I like some guys here. Sabonis is back now with no Miles Turner, so I do like Sabonis quite a bit. He's 8.7 on DK, 9.1 on FanDuel, so it's a really good price tag for him, I think, in this matchup. They're implied to score 116. Spread is pretty tight. Memphis is favored by 3. So he should get a lot of minutes here. I always like to play him earlier in the season when Turner was out, so I mean, he's in a really good spot here today. As a last piece in cash games, I don't mind that. Tournaments as well, I think he has a lot of upside. So he's going to be the guy for me if I'm playing a pacer. I don't really want to play anyone in the backcourt. They have Brogdon back now, like you said. LeVert is in. TJ McConnell is in. So I just want to take advantage of the Turner injury if I do play a pacer. So Sabonis is the guy for me.
Makes sense. Memphis side, Jonte Porter, questionable. DeAnthony Melton out. Justice Winslow out. Projected starters: John Morant, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson, and Jonas Valanciunas. I mean, who's going to go off, Chris, for the Memphis Grizzlies? Seems like anyone at any given game can have a big game here. You've said it with Ja. It's kind of frustrating rostering him sometimes because, like you said, like Grayson Allen sometimes puts more shots up than Ja. Anything on the Memphis side we can look at today?
Yeah, so like I said, this is the highest over-under game, and Memphis is favored, so they have a really high implied team total here at 119. So I am interested in these guys, but like you said, it's kind of hard to pinpoint who it's going to be on any given night here. So we kind of have to take advantage of pricing, I think. So I'll start with Ja Morant. He's 7K on both sites. So he's a decent play here. I think he had a good game last time out against the Knicks. Played 38 minutes, got 38 fantasy points. So the 38 minutes were, I think, his highest in a month. So that was pretty good to see. So I do like him a bit here, especially in tournaments. I think that price tag is too low for him. Cash games, I don't know. I'm not going to go out of my way to get him, but I think it is a good price tag. So definitely don't mind it if you're landing there. Joe Val, 7-4 on FanDuel. I think that's a decent, 7-5 on FanDuel, 7-4 on DK. So I think he's a decent play as well. Dylan Bricks is there, 5-5 on FanDuel. DraftKings, he's a little bit less, 5.3K. So I don't mind him either. He's probably my favorite guy here just because he always chucks the ball. I think he also played 39 minutes last game. That game went into OT though, so that's actually why Ja played more as well. So yeah, I mean, Brooks, I'm fine with him as a last piece. I'm fine with any of these guys as last pieces, but kind of like Sabonis, I'm not going to go out of my way to try to get them.
Okay. Let's load up the next game. Chicago Bulls, Minnesota. Royal King actually says, Memphis side, Kyle Anderson probably one of the smoothest form. Has probably one of the smoothest forms.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
What's his form like?
I don't think it's too nice.
Oh, okay. He's been putting up some big games though. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think Clark has been out, so yeah, that's kind of why. Clark played last game. I mean, Anderson still did well. He's priced up a little now though. He's 7K on FanDuel, 6-1 on DK, so that's a pretty good price tag if you do want to play Anderson.
Royal King says he's got a good shot. Come on, Chris.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, next up, Chicago against Minnesota. Let's go over Chicago. Garrett Temple, doubtful for them. Starters, projected starters, Tom Satoransky, Zach LaVine, Pat Williams, Thad Young, and Vucevic. Yeah, LaVine I think he had a crazy game, but it wasn't last game, was it?
Yeah, last game. He had 39 points in the first half.
Yeah, insane. So, I mean, the game before that, too, he had a pretty crazy game. So he's priced up a bit now. I think he was really cheap those games. Like, I think it was like some of the cheapest price tags we've seen all season long for him. Part of it, I guess, is Vucevic coming there. Other part probably just struggling a bit. But, yeah, now he's priced up a bit, Chris, 2 crazy games. What do you make of LaVine in tournaments, or is he even cash viable?
I'm fine with him in both formats. It's a revenge game as well against Minnesota. This is the highest or second highest over-under on the slate at 232. Tight spread as well, just like the last game. Chicago is favored by 4. So the Bulls here are implied to score 118 points. We know that most of those points are going to come from Vucevic and LaVine. So if you want to play one of them, I have no problems with it. Probably prefer Zach LaVine just because he's a little bit cheaper than Vucevic. But I'm fine with both of these guys. Tournaments, cash games as last pieces. Probably wouldn't play both of them together, but if you're playing one of them, I don't mind it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we know that all the production comes from them on this team, so probably the only guys I'll talk about. Maybe if you want to play Patrick Williams as the last piece, you can do that. I think he's 4-5 on FanDuel. He doesn't really rely on scoring for his points. He gets rebounds, he gets stocks. So, as a last piece, I don't hate that, but I don't know. I'm probably going to try to focus on LaVine and Vucevic if I am playing these guys.
Got it. Cody says slow-mo. And then Rondo says he's watching Celtics versus Nuggets. Langford is a stud. Where's number 45 too?
Romeo.
Yeah. Minnesota side, Jalen Noel, questionable tag. Projected starters, Ricky Rubio, Ant-Man, Kogi, Catman, and McDaniels. Anybody here on Minnesota, Chris, that you like today?
Not really. Kind of like I always say now, they're all healthy. Cat is priced up a little bit. It's a good matchup. Like I said, it's the second highest over-under on the slate, but I don't know. I don't really want to play these guys. Maybe D'Angelo Russell. What's his price tag now? 6.5 on
7-1.
DK, 7-1 on FanDuel. So 7-1 is too expensive, I think. But I like the 6.5 price tag on DraftKings, especially in tournaments, just because he has the upside if his minutes do go up. Their last game went into OT, so that's why he played 29 minutes. But if he goes up to like 30 minutes, 32 minutes, if he ends up starting or something like that, I think D'Lo could be very interesting.
Got it. Let's see. Deshaun says Vucevic or Zion on DK.
Give me Zion.
Zion. And then King Carter 3K says thoughts on Goga with no Miles Turner. You mentioned Sabonis is the guy you take advantage of with no Turner. What do you think of Goga?
I don't love it unless he gets the start for some reason. Last game with no Turner and Sabonis in, they didn't start Goga, so I don't expect them to start him here. He only played 15 minutes as well, so I don't know. He's priced up as well, so yeah, I don't want to play Goga here for sure.
Okay. Let's jump into the next game. Toronto Raptors, New York Knicks. Toronto first. OG out for them. Fred VanVleet out for them. Jalen Harris out for them. Paul Watson out for them. Kem Birch probable, so I think he signed yesterday, was it, with them? So he's probable today. Siakam is in. Lowry is questionable. Projected starters: Lowry, Trent Jr., Bembry, Siakam, and Boucher. So I guess there's a few questions here on the Raptors. Not sure how interested we are in them, but we have the new piece of Kem Birch. Is that going to affect anyone's minutes? Probably not. I'm guessing it would just be Baines' production there, which hasn't been too significant all season. And then we have the Lowry questionable tag. Chris, is that one important today?
Yeah, Lowry's super important. Kem Birch super important as well. Just means we can't play Chris Boucher, especially for this price tag now. We don't know what they're going to do with the center rotation. So can't play Boucher anymore. It's not a great matchup. It's a pace down spot. Going up against the Knicks, they're only implied to score 106. So, I mean, it's not the same spot that we had the last few games. Lowry is projected to be back now. I think they said he's likely to play today. So that's another body there. Can't play guys like Flynn anymore. Gary Trent Jr. gets a bump down. So, I mean, if I'm playing someone here, it's going to be Kyle Lowry on FanDuel, where he's 6.3K. He's been around 8K all season long. So now we get him for 6.3. It's probably just a mistake in the pricing. So I think Kyle Lowry, if he does end up playing, he's a lock on FanDuel for 6.3K. But yeah, that's about it. Like, there's no one I want to play on DK. Lowry, I think he's still priced normally 7.3 on DK, so we don't need to play him there. So just on FanDuel. Got
it. Knicks side, just one guy. I don't know if Dinda's here. John Henson, Muppets guy. He is out. Projected starters: Payton, Barrett, Bullock, Randall, and Noel. I see Randall. We have him projected for a monster game over on DK, 48 fantasy points. On FanDuel, 45 almost. What do you think of the Knicks here, Chris? Anybody that you like?
Not really. Maybe Randall if you do want to play a New York Knick, but I can't do it in cash games. I think in tournaments it's interesting. He's kind of in the same range as guys like Zion, guys like Sabonis, Vucevic as well. So if you do want to play him, I mean, I don't mind it in tournaments. We've seen Toronto give up big games, but probably not for me here. I'm going to prioritize the other guys I mentioned, like Zion and Sabonis, over Randall here today.
Got it. Let's go into the next one. San Antonio against Dallas. T-Bay already said it. He says Spurs versus Mavs game is going to be great. Luka plays his best against the Spurs, so I'm sure he's excited to watch this one. On the Spurs side, we have Trey Lyles out, Gorgie Dieng out, Keita Bates-Diop back in. Projected starters: DeJounte Murray, Derek White, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. Anybody on the Spurs side, Chris?
No, I mean, same thing as always. I'll play the Spurs if there's an injury. Not really an injury here, so I'm not going to play the Spurs tonight.
Got it. Let's go. But what about like DeMar? He always randomly goes off, Chris. Especially when you don't want to play the Spurs. I feel like that's a sign that DeMar is going to go off.
he also randomly has 20-point games, so I don't know. I don't like it, so I'm not gonna really talk about it.
Okay. Maverick side, we have where'd they go? Here. JJ Redick out, Terry out, Cauley Stein is probable, Kleba questionable. Projected starters: Doncic, Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Kleba, and Kristaps Porzingis. So the Kleba questionable tag, Chris, does that one matter too much? And who do you like on the Mavs?
Yeah, I don't think it matters too much. They have a lot of guys now. They added Melly to the rotation. They still have Dwight Powell, obviously. So I don't think it matters too much here. The one guy I am interested in is Luka Doncic on FanDuel specifically, where he's 10.2K. DraftKings, he's 11K, so that's, I think, where his price should be. FanDuel, I think he's a little too cheap, so I think you got to lock him in here as the spend up. We don't have Giannis here on the slate, so we can't spend up for him. Don't have Jokic. So Luka is the kind of the elite player that we usually like to spend up for, and he's on the slate. So he's going to be the guy that I'm targeting on FanDuel for this price tag. Not too much else to say about it. Like, we have the value to get to him, I think. He's cheap enough as a stud that he's a good play. So yeah, Luka's my guy here on FanDuel.
Okay, got it. Let me load up the next one. See a comment here on Boucher from King Carter. He says Boucher could be sneaky in GPPs with no OG at low ownership on DK. He also says he's going to give Birch 15 minutes at most if he does end up playing for the Raptors. What do you make of that one?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the spot that we talk about. Like, he's chalk yesterday. He burns everyone.
Yeah.
Today he's not going to be chalk. They added Kem Birch. I mean, OG is out, so that's a bump up. So yeah, I don't think people will be on him. So it is a good spot, I think, if you want to play him in tournaments.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, like you said, we do talk about that. The chalk ends up burning people, so I always like that one. And yeah, I guess the OG thing is pretty good for Boucher. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like Birch. Like, how much does Baines play right now, Chris? Do you know?
Aaron Baines, I don't think he played 12 minutes yesterday, 17 minutes the game before, so around like 12 to 18 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be more of Birch. Birch will be taking Baines' minutes. I don't think you'll see Baines and Birch playing significant minutes or more than 17 together combined.
Yeah.
But yeah, next up we got the Pistons against the Clip Show. Where is it? Pistons side, we have Jeremy Grant, Rodney McGruder, questionable, Wayne Ellington probable, and then Killian Hayes doubtful. Projected starters: Dennis Smith Jr., Corey Joseph, Josh Jackson, Sadiq Bey, Mason Plumlee. Anybody here, Chris, on the Pistons side for you?
So it kind of depends on the news. Like, if Jeremy Grant is out again, I think Josh Jackson would become in play, especially on FanDuel where he's 4.5K. We saw it yesterday in the same situation. Jackson went for around 30, played 30 minutes as well, so he does get a bump if Grant ends up being ruled out. Plumlee, if they rest him here on the back-to-back, Isaiah Stewart would become viable. But this is the biggest spread of the slate. The Clippers are favored by 12, so it's not anything that I'm going to go out of my way to get here. Maybe like Corey Joseph, Dennis Smith Jr. if he ends up starting. Killian Hayes is doubtful here today on the back-to-back, so I don't know. It's the late game. I probably won't have any slots remaining to late swap just because most of my interest comes from the earlier games, so I don't know. I don't really love it.
So for tournaments, would you wait on this news at all, or how would you handle that?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
I mean, it's a tough matchup against the Clippers, so if we get it early, I'll manage it then. But if we get it late, I'm just gonna skip out.
Got it. Clippers side, Rondo questionable. Yogi Ferrell here. What did he do? 10-day contract. Serge Ibaka out. Kawhi Leonard out. Paul George probable. Projected starters: Reginald Jackson, Luke Kennard, Paul George, Marcus Morris, and Zubats. Anybody on the Clippers side, Chris?
Yeah, so no Kawhi means we have interest in the Clippers here. Um, FanDuel kind of priced them up. So Paul George is 9K on FanDuel. DraftKings, he is 8.4K. So definitely prefer him over on DK. Still a really good play on FanDuel, I think, but just the cheaper price tag makes him more viable on DraftKings. Reggie Jackson, we saw him have the crazy game last time out when Paul George sat and Kawhi played. So today's like the opposite situation. He's 5.1K on DK. I think 5.4, 5.3 on FanDuel. So he's a good play, I think, as well. It's a revenge game against Detroit. So you have that going for you. Zubox as well, 4.6 on FanDuel. I think that's a good price tag. 5.1 on DK, probably a little too expensive. Kennard, if he ends up starting, 3.7 on DK, 4.2 on FanDuel. Rondo, I think he's viable on DK today, actually, for 100 over the minimum. So I like that as an option. He obviously had the huge game last time he played against Phoenix, went for 36 fantasy points in 20 minutes. Beverly is out, obviously, so that kind of secures Rondo's minutes. So I definitely don't mind him for value on DK. Pretty sneaky, I think, so I like that. And then, yeah, that's probably it. Like, all these guys are viable, all the top guys. We all know them. Marcus Morris, didn't mention him. He's also viable here. But just like Paul George, Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, Zoo, Man, Batum, like they're all viable. It's just, I don't know. I'm probably going to land on some of them. If I had to pick one, obviously it would be Paul George. But yeah, I like this team a lot.
Got a question from King Carter. He says, is it crazy that I prefer Terrence Mann over Reginald Jackson if no Rondo?
No, I don't think that's too crazy. Like, Mann has been playing very well. I watched the last game. He looked very confident as well. So confidence is huge. 4.9 on DK. FanDuel, he is 5.1. So around the same price tag as Reggie Jackson on both sites. Definitely don't mind that, especially if he ends up starting. Like, he could start in place of Kennard. They started Kennard last game. So, yeah, definitely don't mind Terrence Mann here.
Yep. Yeah, Rondo loved that call. Also got Hansen in here. Says 50 plus viewers. Let's go. What'd you think of non-bifocal Hansen yesterday, Chris, on the court? He's got that peripheral vision. Saw him making some passes that he couldn't make before. He looked good.
Yeah, he looked good. I was telling him yesterday, he looks a lot better without glasses, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He said he doesn't care about my opinion, so I was kind of sad about that.
I was trying to hype up the contact lenses too, and he just tried to diminish it as well. But I think he admitted that you get your full peripheral vision with the contact lenses, unlike glasses. So huge plus with that. For sports, definitely. But yeah, next up we got Miami against Portland. Miami side, KZ Okpala is out. Victor Oladipo also out. He's projected to come back pretty soon. I feel really bad for Oladipo, Chris. He's been struggling for a while. Had that bad injury. You don't feel bad?
Yeah. No, I mean, he should have taken the money that Houston offered him. Indiana offered him money last season as well. So, I mean, he should have taken it. Now he's probably not going to get much money.
Just all the injuries?
Well, I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. I think he injured a muscle close to the quad that he hurt last time. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, that's rough. Well, yeah, it wasn't about the money. It just sucks because he was really good. Like Indiana at his peak, at his prime. Like I really enjoyed watching him. Kind of like a two-way player for sure. Yeah, I just miss prime Oladipo, so that's why I'm saying it's kind of sad. A fun player to watch, very fast, very quick, and does a bit of everything. But yeah, moving on. Hero also questionable. Vincent and Dedmon are probable projected starters. Goran Dragic, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, Trevor Ariza, and Bam Adebayo. Anybody here, Chris, on Miami that we like? Portland is a team we usually like to target against. Usually fast-paced games, lots of scoring. Not much defense. Anybody here in Miami that we can kind of take advantage of the matchup?
Yeah, so the over-under here isn't crazy. It's at 221, but it is a pace-up spot still for the Miami Heat. As you said, I always like the matchup against Portland. So it's no different here today. I think Jimmy Butler is a really good play. He's 9.3 on FanDuel, 9K flat on DK. So he's a really good play. Probably my favorite Miami Heat guy here today. He's been playing well. consistently putting up around 45. So I think for his price tag here, he's a really good play. Like I said, Bam Adebayo, he's the one that I think is going to go under owned. I think he's very sneaky in tournaments. He's 8-8 on FanDuel, 8-3 on DK. I think we saw it earlier this season. He had the big game against Portland. Let me see. Yeah, he went for 60 last time against Portland. So I mean, he has that upside that we like to chase in tournaments. So I do like him a lot in that power forward / center slot on both sides, really. But if you play him, you probably can't play some bonus, Zion, those other guys that I mentioned in this price range. So you have to factor that in. But I do like him a lot here as well. The hero news is pretty important, I think. If he ends up being ruled out, Dragic will become in play, especially on DK, where he is 4.7K. I think if Hero is ruled out, Dragic will probably be a lock for me in this matchup. So keep an eye out for that news. I'm not sure if you're going to have the slots available to swap, just because this is the late game. So I don't know. Maybe if you want to backload a little more, just so you can have this available for you, it's viable. But yeah, for the most part, for me, it's going to be Butler up top and then Bam in tournaments.
Yeah. Deshaun had a question about Dragic, but you kind of answered that, more so if Hero is out. But if Hero is in, Chris, maybe just what are your thoughts on Dragic with Hero in on both? I guess DK. We know Deshaun is a DK guy.
I'm still fine with it. Oladipo is out here, so we kind of got the Miami Heat of old. So yeah, I'm still definitely fine with it. He played 26 minutes last game. How many minutes did Oladipo play? So Oladipo played 25 minutes last game. So he played probably 3/4 of his rotation. So yeah, Dragic now. I think he's definitely in play, even if Hero is in, because Oladipo is out.
Okay. Portland side, Zach Collins out for them. Nurkic probable projected starters. Lillard, McCollum, Powell, Rocco, and Nurkic. Yeah, so Nurkic back in makes Canada no-go for sure this time. But anyone else here, Chris, on Portland that you might play in cash or tournaments?
No one here in cash games. It's a pace down spot here. Miami's pretty good defensively, in my opinion. They actually acquired, I think, Dwayne Dedman, so he's there now as a big. So, not Portland, sorry, Miami did. So yeah, he's there. The only reason I would play these guys is if you're using them as a bring back. If you're playing someone like Butler and Bam, I wouldn't play these guys as one-offs. Dame and CJ, they're always viable, but I don't know, they're pricey. Haven't been putting up huge games recently, so I don't know. Maybe it's a good buy low spot, especially on FanDuel. You get Dame for 8.9K. In a close game, I think he definitely still has the upside that we've seen earlier in the season, and I do think he makes for a pretty good bring back if you are playing Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, I think that's it for today's slate overview. Can get into our 3 key plays, then do the cash core, and then go over some roster construction stuff for cash games. First up, though, FanDuel, Chris, overall play of the day for you. Safest play, cash tournaments, all formats here. Who's your guy?
I'll go with Luka Doncic up top for 10.2K.
Nice. Okay, next up, value play on FanDuel. Who's your guy there today?
Yeah, so we don't have any 3.5K, 4K guys today. It's more balanced. So I would say someone like Lowry, Portis, or Hartenstein. If I had to pick one guy, I guess give me Bobby Portis because he's on the cover here today.
Really? Lowry's so cheap, Chris.
I think Portis actually projects better as well. He's cheaper.
Yeah, he does, but I mean, Lowry's so cheap. Tournaments.
Lowry's questionable too.
Yeah, that's true. Tournaments on FanDuel. Who's your tournament play of the day?
Tournament play, give me Domantas Sabonis.
Nice. Okay. DraftKings time, Chris. Overall play of the day over there. Who do you have?
I'll go with George Paul because he's cheaper here for 8.4K.
George Paul. Got it. Value play. Who do you have on DK?
Value play. So it's a similar situation here on DraftKings. We don't have any guys who are the minimum here for value. So I like Portis again, but he's 6'3". I don't really want to say that for value. Give me Mo Bamba for 4.5.
Really? You even said, wait, what? When I asked about Bomba, you said it's a buy high moment. I said it's a buy low moment.
Yeah, I mean it's I think it's the highest price tag we've seen on him all year.
I mean, like in his new role, like is it a buy low moment in that sense?
I mean, I don't know. Bomba's he's kind of scary, so you never know what he's going to give you. So
This is your value
I'm not
play.
sure. Yeah, we don't have. We can
Sure?
go with Portis again, but he's 6.3K, so I don't really want to use him.
Are you sure you want Bomba at your value play?
Okay, fine. Give me Bobby Portis. I think he's probably going to do better point per dollar.
There we go. Tournament play on DK. Who do you have there?
Same thing. Give me Demontis Sabonis.
Demontis Sabonis. Who's better, Demontis or what's the other guy's name? Ardi. How do you say his name?
Arvidas,
Arvidas. Who's better, Arvidas or Demontis?
probably his dad. I've never seen him play though.
You watched the highlights though, no?
Probably 2 minutes.
They're so blurry, the highlights.
Yeah. So how can I tell?
Well, I watched the highlights. He looks good, but yeah, it's hard to say who's better. But yeah, let's go. Let's go into the cash core here, Chris. You got Middleton, you got Portis, you got Kalo, you got Hartenstein. Why do you like these guys here today?
Just because of their prices, the situations. So with the Bucks guys here, no Giannis. So I think you got to play these two. I don't think you have to play Drew today. And then Hartenstein, really good price tag for him. Just a really good point per minute guy. It's back to back. Kevin Love might rest here, so I like Hartenstein a lot. And then Kyle Lowry for 6.3K. Like I said when I was going over the Raptors, I think it's probably a mispricing there because they thought he was going to be out. We've seen him at 8K all season long. So yeah, it's a spot that I want to take advantage of if he does play.
Got it. And before we get into this, I missed one question from King Carter. He says, how would y'all rank these stud plays on DK? So he's got Luka, Butler, Catman, Zion, Vooch, and Sabonis. Let me just type them out here, Chris. And then you can just give me your thoughts here. So he's got Luka.
Well, you could just check them off because they're all probably priced at the top.
Yeah.
So like just check off Luka. Who else did he have?
He's got Luka, Butler. Where's Butler? Butler. Catman, Zion, Vucevic, and Sabonis.
Yeah, sort by projection. It'll be easier to tell a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, it depends on on how much salary you have. So this is where you can kind of look at point per dollar. That's how you can kind of tell who's the best play. So Zion, or actually Vucevic is first. Butler and Zion, they're both tied at 5.14. So I mean, all these guys are really close.
Yeah, it's
If I had to pick, I would go with Sabonis as my favorite one, just because he's the cheapest one.
And Turner.
I like no Turner. I like the upside that he has here. It's the highest over/under on the slate, so probably Sabonis is my favorite. Zion, maybe my second favorite. We saw what he did last game. Kind of playing as point Zion. I think he put up 8 assists, 37 points, 15 rebounds. So he had a giant game. No Lonzo again today, so I expect a similar role for him. Luka and Cat, I don't want to spend that much for those studs when we don't have great value, kind of like I mentioned. So I would say Sabonis 1, Zion 2. Oh, Sabonis 1, Zion 2, Butler 3, Randall 4, Vucevic 5, and then Luka, Cat.
Got it. Yeah, close that before you finish. Sorry. Back to FanDuel, Chris. Built the lineups here with your cores. Which ones do you want to go over?
We can look at the first two here.
Okay. Wrong one. There we go. So what do we have here? 2 guys shooting guard, small forward. 3v3? 2v3.
Yeah, so point guard, we have these two guys, Luka and Lowry. I like this combo a lot. I think it's going to be the chalk. Small forward, we have Middleton in both lineups. He's going to be very chalky. Portis and Hartenstein, I think that's going to be the chalk at power forward. And then Bamba at center. I'm fine with Bomba at center for 5K. Obviously, we have to wait for the news, but that's the first game of the slate, so we should know in time. We got Okiki out, so Bomba wasn't reported out at that time, so he's probably, I would say he's more likely to play than not play here. Then we have the 3v3, Dylan Bricks, Josh Jackson, Jimmy Butler versus Paul George, Dante, and Patrick Williams. Kind of like the second side more, honestly. We got another Milwaukee Buck with no Giannis in Dante DiVincenzo. We got Paul George, who has no Kawhi Leonard. Patrick Williams as a last piece. I don't love it, but I think it's similar to Josh Jackson. I don't love Josh Jackson here either, so I kind of view them as similar plays here. And then in the first side, you get Butler, who I like a lot. You get Dylan Bricks, who I think is very inconsistent, so don't love that play. So, yeah, I like the second side here more with Paul George and Dante.
Yes, I'm with you on that one. Let's go over DraftKings here. So you got George Paul, Middleton, Portis, Bamba as your core. These are the same guys. These guys are all in the FanDuel lineup, so guess we could just get into the lineups unless you want to say anything about those guys here on DK, Chris.
Yeah, so I have some different locks. I didn't lock Bamba on FanDuel. I think I locked Luka instead of him. I didn't lock Paul George just because he's priced up on FanDuel. He's 8-4 here on DK, so that's why I locked him here. And then the same Bucks, I locked them.
Got it. I just meant that they were also in the FanDuel lineups, all those guys. Yeah, which ones do you want to go over here? Seeing some Rondo here in the second one seems kind of crazy. Should we skip the second, go straight to the third?
No, let's do the first two. It's just a 2v2. I think it's Kennard Sabonis versus Rondo and Zion. So same guys, Reggie Jackson, 5-1 here. We saw what he did last game, put up a giant performance. I think he went for 49, maybe 48. So yeah, that he's in a similar role today. Obviously, Paul George was out that game. Kawhi was in. This time it's the opposite. So I think it's a similar role for Reggie Jackson here today. So I like the price tag on him. Middleton, 8K. I think you ought to play him. Bobby Portis, 6-3. I like that a lot as well. Bamba, a little cheaper here on DK. So I like that. Paul George, locked him in. Hartenstein, he's also cheaper here on DraftKings for 5-2. So I like that. And then we have this 2v2, Kennard Sabonis versus Rondo and Zion. This one's kind of tricky just because Rondo's questionable here today. That's probably the only reason why I would go with the first lineup. We also don't know if Kennard's going to start. He started last game in place of Paul George. Not sure what they're going to do today. Maybe they'll start Terrence Mann or something like that. Yeah, I like going with the, I don't know, probably the first lineup. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, Zion locks at 7. Sabonis locks at 8. So maybe I would go with the Sabonis side just because Sabonis locks 1 hour later. That's 1 extra hour that could kind of give us more Clippers news. So I'd probably go with the Sabonis side there.
Got it. Okay, let's go over some. Which slate do you want to go over tonight? The after hours Miami Portland game.
Yeah, probably the Miami Portland game because the after hours one has Detroit, which we're waiting on.
Okay. Let's see what we get. So it's mostly Butler here at MVP. Some Bam, 1 Bam, 2 Bam, 3 Bam, 4 Bam. And then we have, what do we have? 1 Lillard here. Let's just open up the players card. Makes it a bit easier. See the distribution. Yeah, so you can see MVP going to be predominantly Butler. Some Bam, some Dane. So I guess if you want to get unique, you can go one of those other 2 guys. What do you make of that one here, Chris?
Yeah, so this is a tough one. Like, you can go with any of these guys. You can go Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Dame Lillard, or CJ McCollum. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those guys are the top scorers here. Obviously, you need the top scorer at MVP if you want to take something down. So if you play like CJ McCollum MVP, I do think that's viable because he does have a ton of upside. He's going to be the lowest owned out of the 4 studs. So if you want to do that in tournaments, that's something I don't mind. Maybe even Bam Adebayo. You could do that, but yeah, probably wouldn't do Jimmy Butler in tournaments. Dame, I think Dame is probably going to be the most popular MVP, not Butler. So I don't know. It's kind of tricky. In cash games, you probably have to do Butler, but in tournaments, I would probably do CJ MVP.
Here's your CJ ones, Chris. Who would you have at your star then? I guess one of the other two guys, or who would you put there?
Yeah, if I'm going with the least owned MVP, I would probably want like the best option at star. So
Butler?
I would probably kind of limit it to even exposure between Butler and Dame here because I think they're the second and third best, or I mean they're the first and second best in terms of raw projections. So yeah, I would put them at star and then Bam probably at pro.
Let's try it out. I don't play these slates much. So you said Butler, you'd put at 50%, and then Lillard?
Yeah, just do 50-50.
There we go.
Yeah, so I mean, now I mean, now you're getting these lineups. You have some Cantor, you have Iggy. I don't know. It's a lot to go over. Like I would try to get less Iggy because I don't love Iggy. Probably. I mean, this also depends on the hero news. Like if Hero's out, Dragic will become a great play here in this format. So yeah, a lot depends on the news as always.
Let's get rid of Iggy, see what we got, Chris.
And now you're getting Dwayne Dedman.
You like that?
No.
Oh god, it's getting ugly, isn't it? But yeah, I mean that's what you got to do for these single game slates here. You got to get a little crazy, but not Dwayne Dedman crazy, right, Chris?
I mean, you could fade Butler and Lillard, and then hope that CJ is the high scorer, Bam is the second high scorer. Then if you have that, you're like way ahead of the field because the rest of your lineup is going to be balanced. Because I mean, if CJ beats Dame and Bam beats Butler, that means that Dame and Butler didn't put up great scores. So
yeah,
then a balanced build would be good. So you would probably get more guys like Dragic, Nurkic, Covington, Hero if he plays. So yeah, I don't mind that either.
Okay, this is the most time we've spent on this single game slate ever, Chris. I mean, there's a lot of ways to go about it, just with the Opta. A lot of settings you could try out, player groups, things like that for these slates. We got Sexton out today, Chris.
Sexton out.
Yeah. What do you say about that?
What about Garland?
Gotta wait a bit. Gotta slow down. Let's see. Nothing. Garland is out. Yeah, Garland's out.
So they're both out.
Yeah. What do you have to say about that?
Who's going to play guard for them?
You're asking me who's going to play guard for them? Let me load up their roster. Give me, let's see.
We also have Jeremy Grant out.
Dellavedova. Give me some give me some Matthew Dellavedova.
I don't know about that.
Chetty Osman, point forward.
Are they going to start like Quinn Cook? I mean, it all depends on who they end up starting, so we have to wait for that news. It's a really good matchup for them against the Pelicans.
So we're interested in this game now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is where we get our value now. Like maybe Damian Dotson, they could start him. Delhi, I guess. He's been playing recently, so... Yeah, he's been playing like 16 to 20 minutes, so they're probably going to start him at point guard. So it's probably going to be Delhi.
Is it an Osman night at all? Is he viable or no?
Yeah, Osman's viable for sure.
Nice.
Not as much as before because Love is back, but yeah, he's definitely viable, especially if he ends up starting. So we have to wait for the starters before we kind of...
Oh yeah, Quinn Cook doesn't play for the Cavs apparently, Chris.
Oh, he got moved?
Yeah.
They waived him?
Isn't he on like the Lakers or Clippers or something? Or no? Where is he? Milwaukee?
No, he was on the Cavs last.
Yeah, but now? Where is he?
They probably waived him. He's probably not playing anywhere.
Really? We should get him for our men's league team.
Yeah.
Get him a job. Is he on a team now or no?
No, he's not.
Got it. Let's see. Killian Hayes out as well. Dennis Smith Jr. questionable. Bamba in. Grant is out, Chris, for Detroit.
Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't really change too much. It makes Josh Jackson a better play, but I have to see who the Cavs are starting before I make a decision here.
Yep. Should we wrap it up then?
I mean, unless you want to wait an hour for the Cavs starting lineup.
No. I'm good. Let's just go over the chat quickly. King Carter says, thanks for the great fantasy content. Good luck. Let's get it. Rondo's asking, if Rondo's in, will Reginald start at the 2? Reginald Jackson?
I don't think they would start Rondo.
Okay. Dinda says, thanks. Roll King says, Cantor went crazy. 30 rebounds last night. King Carter 3K says, completely fading Gary Trent Jr. today. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, Lowry's projected to be back, so there's no reason to chase that.
Yep. Royal King also says, single slates get tricky, but I like them. Yeah, they're pretty fun. Justin says, point Chetty. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Who knows?
I said it too,
Point
Justin. Yeah, point Chetty could be interesting. I like it. I mean, we have a lot of Chetty fans here in DFS Crunch, at DFS Crunch, in our Discord. Royal King wants to go over the after hours. Chris, should we quickly do it?
Yeah, we can. I mean, actually, we probably can't because we have to wait for the Hero News. Detroit,
That's true.
Dennis Smith Jr. now, he's questionable. So
Yeah,
there's a
that's
ton of news that we're waiting on for those last 2 games.
That is true, Chris. Let's wrap it up then. Focus on making sure everything's smooth. Projections are up to date for all the crunchers. So let's do that. That said, guys, anyone here who hasn't tried out our optimizer yet, hasn't used our projections yet, go ahead to our website, dfscrunch.com. Get yourself an account and get yourself a free 3-day trial. You don't need any coupon code or special magic link for that. Just go to our site, dfscrunch.com, create your account, and then you'll get 3 days for free if you're a new member, automatically applied. So you're not charged until after 3 days. Get full access during that trial. All the slates that we have, all the sports, FanDuel, DraftKings, all the different slate types. Lots of fun here. So there's a lot of ways to use our optimizer. Yeah, I mean, anything you want to say on the optimizer, Chris?
No, not really. There's a ton of sports, as always. I think MLB's already done. There's a single game slate later, so ton of stuff, as always, for you to play.
What would you say the biggest difference between like our optimizer is and some of the other ones right now?
Probably the projections.
Projections, sharpest in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feature-wise, though, we're always adding new things. So playing a bit of catch-up here because we started a bit later than all the other guys. But I think we have most of the core features now. So we have that. And then we also are working on some new features that other guys don't have. So our tool is going to look a lot different every month moving forward. So it's pretty exciting times here. But yeah, check out our optimizer, get that trial going. Other than that, before you go on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. We do the show here every single day, 2.5 hours before main slate. Weekends, holidays, every day we do it here. So no days off for the Crunch Squad. I think that's it, guys. So we'll be updating the projections. Got some news here, so we'll be doing that. We'll be in the Discord, so if you have more questions, come hang out there. If you're a member, make sure you're in there. Get your verification code. If you don't have it, join the Discord or DM us on Twitter. In the Discord, you can DM me. I'm Garry there, so you'll see it when you join it. And then, yeah, you can get into all these channels here, so that's a good place to hang out, ask your DFS questions. Great group here, so definitely get in on the Discord. Yeah, guys, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Good luck today, and see you all then.